Here's a memorable studio moment with DJ Twilight Tone. This is one that was brought to my attention recently by a picture that Grav posted. So I've always been a fan of DJs. I listen to DJs, I follow DJs my whole life. That's how I got exposed to hip hop music, was through DJs and mixtapes that were coming to Chicago and music that was coming to Chicago that, DJ Red Alert or, Molly Mall or somebody at that time, from a station in New York, somebody got it and I got a copy of the tape and you heard all these songs. So I've always had a high respect and honor for DJs. So I've always tried to have good DJs cutting on my records. Sinister did a lot of the cuts. I've had Precise. I've had Tico from San Francisco. And when I was doing the Grav album, I was like, yo, we need some cuts. And Tone was like, yo, I'll do them. And so Twilight came to the studio to do the cuts that day. And I was like, man, Twilight Tone is here doing the cuts on this Grav record. And that record was, for us at that time, it had a lot of pieces of the underground Chicago hip hop scene connected to that album. There was a lot, when I think back to it, I'm like, wow, there was a lot of people trying to work at that time that were able to contribute on that album in some way. So I think that hearing him do the cuts and just being in the studio with Tone, watching him work, and Tone was always an advanced person. He had a lot of records. He had the skill to DJ, he had the skill to rap, the skill to make beats. He was always creatively knew what he wanted, and it was always going to be different than what anybody else was going to do, even back in those days. So just to be able to work in the studio with Tone and Grav was like, man, that was a very memorable moment for me, man. The original Real Weight, the artist that was rapping on that was none other than Grav. And in between that process of rapping on Real Weight and doing his own material, he got the deal at Correct Records. And Grav and Andy C, who had did Snakebite for Grav already, which may have even leaked at that time, that was out there already probably getting played maybe on HBK or some of the stations like that. Somehow, I want to say, and I don't know if this is correct, Andy will correct me if it's not, but I think that Andy C was the one that may have had something to do with facilitating the deal with DJ Newmark over at Correct Records just to get Grav signed. When we found out the deal was going to go through, it was kind of bitter and sweet. So the sweet part about it was, man, great, this is another artist that's going to have this great deal. The bitter part was about it like, oh man, now what's going to happen to the Real Weight? So it was like, how is that going to work with the deal? Is that song going to be a part of the deal or everything? So the original beat for the Real Weight is The Battle that Grav, he called it The Battle, but that was called The Real Weight. The Real Weight that everybody knows now is another song that we had to do at the last minute to compensate for that song, to get it done. I felt bad because I was like, wow, but when things like that happen, what do you do? So me and No ID wound up doing that song together, but Grav was the original person.